Howdy do. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about a quick hits that actually mention about possibly Riot's goal for the rest of the year, about bringing back some possible off-meta builds for certain champions that it's viable for, and this whole theme of this year about things like opening up bottom lane, making, allowing mages to go bottom lane, and such like that. So I'm just going to read the post first, and then we can talk about it afterwards, and it goes like this. Riot Maple talked a little bit about balancing for alternative playstyles. I was going to write a bit of a longer post, but Riot Piff captured it pretty well down below. I'll try to elaborate on this a bit more, however. One of our primary goals heading into this year has been a start to open up the meta in order to better support alternate playstyles. The position you can bring a champion, the roles you can flex them into, the items you can build game to game, etc. Late last year, we did a little testing on Morgana and Zyra to see if we could get players who can even consider bringing them into the jungle. Not to dominate, mind you, but that if a player invested the time, it could be considered a viable pick and solo queue and not just straight trolling. This was part of a larger push we wanted to continue as we moved into this year. Unfortunately, we got waylaid a bit by the first few patches being allocated to post Rune Reforged Balance, but mid-season is one of our first larger pushes to help open up the meta for alternate playstyles. We'd initially talked about this as getting mages into the bot, or letting you build a team comp that didn't require a marksman. We pulled back on the magnitude of those goals a bit, but once we've passed 8.12 and it's gone, we've spread our mid-season to patches 8.9 to 8.12 this year. I suspect that we'll see some natural alternate playstyles emerge, and we're actively seeking to not have to snuff those things out. You're also going to see us ship individual champ-to-champ changes over the coming months, which are aimed at either opening up playstyles that used to exist but don't anymore, like AD Malzahar, Lei Nidalee, AP Tristana as potential examples, or introducing playstyles that have never existed on a champion before. I wonder what AP Shotgun Knees would look like. No one else does. But anyways, this needs to be done carefully though, as alternate playstyles present entirely new changes if I could ever read, when it comes to balancing. Sometimes they can be great and we'd be able to support them for years, like Jarvan going jungle and top, Vladimir going mid and top, a bunch of our mages that also double as supports, but others can prove tricky or even downright problematic. Think like Tank Echo, Jungle Ezreal, AP Maokai support after the rework that leaves some of us with nightmares to this day. What's important to note is that no alternative playstyle is created equally, and while we want to support as many as we can, there are also some ones that we simply have proven are not sustainable for a multitude of reasons, the lack of counterplay usually being one of the main ones there. Something that's often forgotten when it comes to alternate playstyles is that the more that there are, the more we undermine the value of our decisions pre-game. Knowing who you're likely going to be playing against helps you make smart decisions pre-game, whether that be picking a lane counter, different runes, different summoner spells, etc. The more we open up the meta, the harder it will be to make those choices feel meaningful, that's definitely a right word, and like they have an impact on your ability to win the game. In some cases, you may also get baited into an awful matchup because you thought they had Pantheon top and took Malphite, but then they swapped into jungle and took something like Rumble or Vladimir top. That even happened in pro play once when Rammus was actually briefly meta back in, I want to say season 6, maybe it was early season 7. That's kind of why, because they would bait a team into picking full AD and then pick Rammus at the very end. There's some value there, but for a competitive game, it's important you don't feel like you're completely tricked out of a victory and instead are judged on your ability to make smart decisions and play well. This is just one of those things that we need to think about when looking at opening up the meta, but I hope this sheds some light on the nuance of this particular area. Let me try and sum this up. Going forward, we're actively seeking to support as many alternate playstyles and ways as possible, but we're still going to uphold values such as meaningful counterplay, interesting decision making, etc. We don't want to kill the fun and creative things you all discover, since discovery is half the fun of playing the games, but we need to make sure that the fun you have doesn't come at the expense of everyone else. So does that make sort of sense? Try to communicate a fair bit, but also want to not make this longer than I already have. So feel free to challenge me as well. While I might not be able to reply to many comments, I'll be reading and paying attention. And that's pretty much how the post ends. The long story short is, they want to be able to support alternate playstyles as well as open up champions to other roles if possible, as long as counterplay is there and as long as you can still make meaningful decisions playing against them. Because for some people, some of their fun, especially if they're a one trick, is other positions and other playstyles that can play that champion in. For example, if the reason you played the game was back when mid Nidalee was a thing, well, once you went to the jungle, maybe you're not a good jungler, but but you still like Nidalee, but you wish mid-Nidalee would come back. So this might be the, way that happens. Me, for example, when I play a lot of Jinx, I'm pretty good at Jinx, but I'm not good at jungle, and Jinx can actually go jungle if you're good at Jinx and jungle. So that's like an example of, hey, they want to make it so that if you are good at maybe, say, jungle, and your champion could go jungle, maybe we support that, and that way you can have that. So if you get autofilled, for an example, you can still play your champion, or just in terms of having fun with the game, period. People want to say League is dying and all that, well, Riot's trying their best. Do you think this is a good idea and good way to go about it, though, or do you think they should kind of just leave the way the things are? But that's all for this video from me. Mainly because I've messed up so many sentences as it is, it's a pretty good indication I should probably stop recording. So, that's all for this video. I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care, GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching.